Okay, so this is a video about the batteries that will come with your Cobra, as well as the charger, and how to safely handle charging your batteries, discharging your batteries, and that sort of thing. So first off, let's just go ahead and open this up. You should have a banana plug. That's what these are, with an XT60 connector that matches the XT60 on your battery. We're going to have a plug and the charger. You should always read and understand your directions. I'm going to give you a summarized explanation, but it's always good to cover yourself and make sure that you're fully aware of all the functionality and capabilities of your charger. So definitely read through your instruction manual. Okay, so to get familiar with your charger, this is obviously AC power. Believe it, you could, if you are out in the field or not available to get to power, some people get really big batteries, car batteries, other types, and then use jumper cables over to a barrel connector that would go here, and then you could power this out in the field if you didn't have AC power available. So it can be powered also but from an external battery. Over here, these are balance plugs. So you'll notice on your battery there are two plugs. There is this one and this one. This one is your balance plug. This one is the XT60 plug. Whenever you charge your battery, you always want to balance charge. That way it is monitoring the voltage between each individual cell. It's a safer and better way to charge your batteries. You should always balance charge your batteries. So if you were to be charging, this would go here. Your balance, this is a 3-cell battery. You can tell by looking at it. That's one cell, that's another cell, and that's another cell. So this is a 3-cell battery. So your 3-cell battery would plug into, here's your little key for what they are here. The 3-cell one is the top row, middle section. Top row, middle section, it would go there like that. And then you would come over here and plug in like that. That's how the plug-in would go. Okay. Now, let's get some power to this thing. This is actually the second video we've done on this. We initially were shipping our Cobra Racers with a 4-cell battery, but we have to remember the market that we're selling to, which is middle school and high schools, and so therefore we've actually downsized our battery to a 3-cell battery instead of a 4-cell battery, which is why I'm making this new video. 3-cell battery, difference between a 3-cell battery and a 4-cell battery is only voltage. 3-cell battery is going to charge up to about 12.5 volts. Whereas a 4-cell battery is going to be fully charged at around 16.8, I think is what it is. So we really just, the kids didn't need such a high voltage battery. So we've been able to go with a lower voltage battery, but as well as a higher milliamp, which means more capacity, potentially more flight time. Dependent on how you're flying. If you're flying like a crazy bat out of heck, or if you're flying all over, then obviously it's not going to last as long as if you're driving Miss Daisy and cruising around at a nice slow speed. So now with that, I'm going to see, hopefully you can read this. If not, you'll just have to pay attention to what I'm saying. My first video I did, I got reports that some people were not able to legibly see the digital readout on the charger. So if you're not able to see it legibly, just listen to what I have to say, and then when you go through, you can pay attention to what you see. So as of right now, we have LiPo charge selected. If I hit the start button, you'll notice that the amperage is flashing. Then if I hit start again, the battery cell voltage starts flashing. And then if I hit it again, it stops flashing. So if I want to go from LiPo charge to something else, I hit this arrow or the increase, and that takes me to LiPo balance. Hit it again, LiPo fast charge. Hit it again, LiPo storage. Hit it again, LiPo discharge. LiPo charge, LiPo balance. So for me to you, you should always balance charge your batteries. As you saw, there's fast charge, there's storage charge, there's discharge, and a normal charge. Those all work fine, but a balanced charge gives you your safest charge. Because again, it is monitoring the voltages between each one of these cells rather than just the voltage coming out of here. So I always recommend balanced charging. Storage charging. I want to talk about that. So you've fully charged your battery, but you're not going to be able to fly. Either the weather's bad, or school is about to get out, or you're about to get out for the weekend and these aren't going to be touched all weekend long. Anytime your battery is going to be left sitting for an extended period of time, you should always storage charge your battery. These have an internal resistance, and the longer that they stay charged, that resistance goes up, which is actually bad for the battery. So anytime you are not going to be flying, you need to storage charge your batteries. Okay, so we've talked about storage charging, we've talked about balance charging. The one other thing I wanted to mention is you could also discharge. It will allow it to discharge at a higher rate. And that's about that. So let's go ahead and see about getting this guy charging. So I'm going to come over here, plug that in, and then I'm going to plug the balance connector into the balance plug, like that. Now, this is a 2200 milliamp battery. So, the maximum amperage that you want to charge at would be 2.2 amps. You do not want to go over that. If you start to charge at anything higher, you run the risk of making your battery explode. It will puff up, and then it'll burst into flames, and hopefully someone will be able to catch it. Which, while I'm talking about that, never charge batteries unattended. Never charge batteries on a flammable surface, wooden desk, something like that. Make sure you're using it on a tile surface or something like that. When we ship these, we supply LiPo bags, so you could in fact charge with your batteries in the bags. But the main thing that I want to explain here is that these should never be left unattended. It was a much smaller battery, but we have actually had a teacher catch one of his batteries on fire, which is what initially prompted us to make this video. So, whenever you charge, balance charge and match your milliamp to your charge rate or your current. So, for like I said, we're going to LiPo balance. So I'm going to hit my start button. My current is flashing. I'm going to hit increase till I get to 2.2 amps. Then I'm going to hit start again. Now currently this is set up for a 6-cell battery. I have a 3-cell battery, so I want to decrease till I get to 3cell battery, 11.1 volts fully discharged. Okay, Then I'm going to hit start. Now nothing is flashing. It's ready to balance plug. It's ready to do it at 2.2 amps, and it's for a 3-cell battery. 2.2, 3-cell battery. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to hit start and press and hold. Now you heard it chirp. Now it says cancel, stop, or confirm, enter. So I'm going to hit enter. And now it will start charging. So at the top row it tells you it is a LiPo 3-cell charging at 2.2 amps. And it's currently at 11.56 and rising volts. It tells you here the BAL, that's a balanced charge. Here it shows you the elapsed time that it is taken. And this bottom number on the bottom right row is the milliamps that have been put into the battery. So this will sit here and charge. The amperage will slowly start to decrease. That's how you know when the battery is almost finished charging. And your top end fully charged voltage of a 3-cell battery should be about 2.4 to 2.5 volts. So when that gets to about 2.5 volts, it will be almost finished. It will give you a final chirp to let you know it is finished. And it will sit here and flash full. And that's how you'll also be able to determine, let's say for example you didn't hear the beep for one reason or another, you could walk over and look and see that your battery is now full. Now I'm going to stop this because I want to show you one more thing. This is a voltage tester. So I'm going to stop, I'm going to unplug. So I have this battery. I want to know if I can use it to fly. On the back of your voltage tester you see a plus and a minus. The minus always plugs in to the black wire. So minus is on the left, black wire is on the left. I'm going to plug this in. It's going to be loud and it's going to start to cycle through information. Again, same as here, you may not be able to read what's happening here. I got reports that people were not able to legibly see what this is showing. So I'm just going to read it out loud so you can follow along. I would usually also put my finger over the top here because those are extremely loud speakers. Dual purpose back in the old days. Not only was this a voltage tester, but it was also a voltage alarm. You could actually plug it in here, Velcro it to your battery, and go fly, and then whenever your battery got to a certain voltage, it would start to scream extremely loud, letting you know that it was time to come back. Luckily, things have improved. We have on-screen displays now, and you don't really need to use this as an alarm anymore. Side note, they were easily lost. Anytime you crashed, the first thing that would happen is this would eject and you'd never find it again. So another reason why this is not really used as a voltage alarm in flight any longer. But it's still a great way to determine what your charge is, as well as individual cells. So, covering the speaker. Alright, it's plugged in. Says I have 11.4 volts, and then it goes through and tells me the voltage of each individual cell. So all is 11.4, cell 1 3.8, cell 2 3.8, cell 3 3.8, all 11.4. So that's how you know where you're at. On our on-screen display, we use a single cell voltage to give you the battery level, and so therefore 3.8 is low. I usually tell people to come back or to land at 3.6. So that's a good indication as to how low your battery is going to be when it's time to finish. But like I said, this right here is very valuable in letting you know whether or not you have a good battery or a dead battery before you go to race. So now we know how to charge, we know how to discharge, we know how to storage charge, we know how to check your voltages. Obviously we're focusing on a 3-cell battery, but if you've gotten some of our older Cobras, they actually shipped with 4 cells. So it would be basically the same information, just that you're using a 4-cell battery instead of a 3-cell battery. I don't know if you can see it, but they're listed here. This is a 3-cell battery. Obviously this battery we use for testing, so it's a little more scuffed up and that sort of thing. Another thing you may notice on your batteries is we have started to go with a higher C rating. So all that tells us is the C rating is like your discharge rate. This one is going to discharge a little bit slower than like a 50C or 100C. Those are going to discharge at a higher rate. So with that being said, that should handle everything as far as batteries. Again, these are LiPos, are basically bombs waiting to go off. They have a lot of built up stored energy. So definitely treat them with respect and carefully. If you have any questions or comments, reach out to us or comment below on our video. And with that, thank you very much.